Dear students, let us begin with this topic, Einstein's theory of specific heat capacity. So already in the last class we have discussed the whatever the assumptions is assumed by the Einstein, and then the explanation is also seen. Once again we'll recap here. So before going to this theory, we'll see that whatever we have discussed in the last class, the explanation of DeLong's and Petit's law. So that is gives the specific heat of all the solids, that is a constant for all temperature, and we have compared with the experimental curve. So the experimental curve is shown like this. At the high temperature, it means from the room temperature to the melting point, the whatever the Cv is there, that Cv is a constant, that Cv is a constant, and then this is gives the experimental curve. But if you comparing with this experimental into the the theoretical outcome into the that experimental curve, so what you will get at the lower temperature, the Cv is different for every different solids. So therefore the comparison with this theoretical outcome and then experimental outcome is not matching with each other. So therefore at a lower temperature, the Petit's Dulong's and Petit's law is going to be fail. So therefore outcoming of this uh, discrepancy, so Einstein theory is established, and then Einstein is gave the uh, proof of this theory. It means which is having the lower temperature, at lower temperature the solids have has a uh, different specific heat capacities. So how it is, we will see here, along with the some assumptions assumed by the Einstein. So first assumption is that is each atom vibrates about its mean position. So that is the first assumption. So it means in a solid the number of the atoms are present, in a solid number of the atoms are present, and those atoms are regularly arranged, and then it is called as a closely packed. So every each atoms is there, those atoms are vibrating its main position. It means this is a atom. So this atom is vibrating in this direction, otherwise in this direction, otherwise in z direction. So it is vibrating in mean position, its mean position. So that is the first assumption. And second assumption is that each vibrating atoms are called as atomic oscillators. So in oscillations, we'll call the oscillations are a simple harmonic oscillation. So therefore here the vibrating atoms is there. Each vibrating atoms, these vibrating atoms is called as atomic oscillators. Atomic oscillators. So all atomic oscillators in a crystal, all atoms or oscillators in a crystal are independent oscillators. So this is one of the assumption is there. So this assumption only the failure of this Einstein theory. So how the failure is there, we'll see uh, at the last. We'll come to know the what the failure of this theory. And then all the atoms or oscillators in a crystal are independent each other. It means if this atom is oscillating, so whatever the vibration or vibrating oscillator is there, whatever the characteristics of this atom is vibrating its main position, so this is not affecting anything on the another one of the nearby the atom, and then this is not affecting anything on this atom. It means the effect of the oscillators, all the oscillators are independent oscillators here. Independent oscillators, it means whatever the atoms are oscillating, those oscillations are not affecting one another. those oscillations are not affecting one another. So that is gives the third assumption. And fourth assumption is there, each atom is vibrating in the 3 degrees of freedom. 3 degrees of freedom, or atom has a 3 degrees of freedom. Thus the n oscillators are there. See here, 1 2 3 n oscillators are there. We can call this is oscillators or atomic oscillators. So n number of the atomic oscillators are there. So if n number of the atomic oscillators are there, it means it has a, every atoms has a 3 degrees of freedom. So it means we'll get a 3n degrees of the freedom. So similarly, fifth assumption is that all oscillators are identical. All oscillators are identical. So they have same natural frequency. They have same natural frequency. It means here identical all oscillators, the whatever the natural frequency of the, I have explained by using the this spring experiment, which is attached to the mass to the one of the end, and then if you give up some of the force to this spring, and then what will get, you will get a to and fro motion. It means oscillations will get. So therefore here these oscillations is depends on the this mass and k value. So therefore the whatever the frequency of this spring is there, oscillations is there, that is gives the 1 by mu equals to 1 by 2 pi root of k divided by m. So k and m are gives the frequency. So this frequency is constant, but the amplitude changes for every oscillators. So therefore if the amplitude changes, amplitude is changes, it means the energy is going to be change. And this energy is changing, that energy is a discrete energy, that energy is a discrete energy. So therefore the energy change in the form of discrete level. If any oscillators oscillating its mean position, it means it is not oscillating itself. If it is oscillating, for example we'll take the atom, the atom is vibrating its mean position, it means it is not vibrating itself. So some of the energy is there inside that atom, so it is helps to oscillate itself. So that oscillation for each atom is not a continuous, it is a discrete energy. It has some discrete energy. It means 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, likewise the energy is there. So therefore here that discrete energy, it means this is a continuous energy system, energy spectrum. So we'll get here the discrete energy levels. So some of the energy is allowed, some of the energy is not allowed. Allowed, not allowed, allowed, not allowed. So therefore here the energy is allowed in the system, that energy is En equals to the n into h into mu. So n is equals to the number of the degrees, 1 2 0 1 2 3 so on. So this is according to the, this is according to the Planck's hypothesis in the year 19th century. So they gave a energy values, and energy is gives n into h into mu. So here now Einstein was applied the quantum theory to these oscillators. Whatever the system I have used, in the system number of the atoms are there, these atoms are called as atomic oscillators. For these atomic oscillators the Einstein is applied the quantum theory. So the quantum theory is helps to atomic oscillators energy levels, to change their energy levels. So therefore that energy level is equals to the, energy level is equals to the n plus 1 by 2, n plus 1 by 2 h into mu. So n is equals to the 0 1 2 3 so on. It means at absolute 0 degree celsius, at absolute 0 degree celsius or a 0 degree temperature, the energy is, whatever the energy is there, energy is not equals to 0, is not equals to 0. So energy is, according to the quantum theory, the energy is at 0 temperature, energy is 1 by 2 h mu, 1 by 2 h mu. So this is called as 0 point energy, 0 point energy. Already we have studied this 0 point energy in a last class. Which class? In a fifth semester we have studied about this 0 point energy. It means at 0 temperature, at 0 degree of freedom, the energy is present. Due to this energy, the atoms are vibrating itself, the atoms are vibrating itself in the system. So that is gives the 0 point energy. And now here Einstein is used this theory, whatever the this quantum theory is there, Einstein is used this theory, and he tried to calculate the energy of the oscillators. He tried to calculate the energy of the oscillators. That energy is average energy, average energy. So what you are going to calculate in this theory, we are going to calculate the specific heat of the solids by using the Einstein's theory. That is Cv is equals to the dou E by dou T at a constant value. So what we want to calculate the E value. We want to calculate the E value. So if you want to calculate the E value, it means the average energy we can write, average energy we can write, that is average energy E bar is equals to the total energy divided by number of the degrees of freedom. So first he calculated the average energy. Before going to calculate this Cv, he calculated, before going to calculate the total energy and Cv, so he calculated the average energy with the help of, with the help of Maxwell distribution law, with the help of Maxwell distribution law. So what is the Maxwell distribution law here? This law is says that we are not able to calculate the complete crystal, the complete crystal or solid oscillators. We cannot calculate the whatever the number of the atoms are present in the this system at a time. So therefore we want to calculate the total number of the oscillators energy. So we have to use a smallest, we have to use a smallest oscillator. It means 1 2 3 4 so on, n number of the oscillators are there. So here we will use the smallest oscillator is 1. So therefore first we will calculate for the 1 and will apply the that addition factor, and then for addition factor we will calculate the total whatever the, it means the maximum oscillators, maximum oscillators energy we can calculate here. So it means we'll use dn number of the atoms, we'll use dn number of the atoms for the maximum to maximum will add up, for the maximum to the maximum add up. So here to adding this maximum to maximum, so we'll use the summation for the discrete. Why? Because the energy is in the discrete form, discrete form. So for this purpose we are using the summation. So therefore here dn number of the atoms are there, dn number of the atoms are there. For this dn number of the atoms, energy is in the range of, energy in the range of e to e plus de. So this is also at a particular temperature, particular temperature. So we'll get the energy at particular this temperature for the dn number of the atoms. So that is nothing but the e to the power of minus of e divided by kT. So now we'll use this Maxwell distribution law to calculate the energy, to calculate the whatever the energy is there, so that energy. And here, if you want to calculate the average energy, and we will use the Maxwell distribution law. So the for the each oscillator we'll write here average average energy average energy of each oscillators is E is equals to the summation of n is equals to the infinity e into e to the power of minus of e divided by kt whole divided by summation of n is equals to the infinity 0 to the infinity e to the power of e minus of e into kt. So here we know that the energy expression, that is E equals to n plus 1 by 2 h mu, and n is equals to the 0 1 2 3. So we'll use the smallest order, so that is n is equals to the 0 at 0 degree Celsius temperature. At 0 degree Celsius temperature, the energy is 1 by 2 h mu. So the expression of average energy is equals to the summation of n is equals to the 0 to the infinity, and we'll put the value of whatever the e value, and then we'll get here this expression. So that is h mu by kt whole divided by summation of n is equals to the infinity 0 to the infinity e to the power of, see here e value is minus of n plus 1 by 2 h mu by kt. So this is the expression if n is equals to 0. If n is equals to 0, I am using the first order here, so that is 0 point energy. For that 0 point energy, n is equals to 0. So therefore the next expression is becomes, so this is a very important expression, so that is gives e is equals to, so what you will get if you put the n equals to 0, then what you will get, we will get, and then for the summation we will write, for the summation of this expression we will write, that is 1 by 2 h mu is a constant value here, h mu e to the power of minus of h mu divided by 2 kt, h mu divided by 2 kt plus 3 by 2 h mu e to the power of minus of 3 divided by 2 h mu divided by kt. So this expression we can write, this summation expression we can write in this form. So then we will get 5 by 2 h mu e to the power of minus of 5 by 2 h mu divided by kt plus so on. So likewise lower term also we can write e to the power of minus of h mu divided by kt 2 kt plus e to the power of minus of 3 by 2 h mu by kt plus e to the power of minus 5 by 2 h mu by kt plus so on we can write. So we'll put the minus of h mu by kt is equals to the x. Minus of h mu by kt is equals to the x. So therefore the expression of average energy is becomes h mu is common in all the terms. So therefore I will remove the outside that h mu. So 1 by 2 is similar, and e to the power of minus of x by, sorry, minus, we have minus here, minus h mu is there, so x by 2 we will write, plus 3 by 2, plus 3 by 2 e to the power of 3 by 2 x will write, plus 5 by 2 e to the power of 5 by 2 x, so on will write, whole divided by, similarly e to the power of, wherever the h mu by minus of h mu by kt is there, we'll put the x value, and then we'll get the e to the power of 3x by 2 plus e to the power of 5x by 2 plus so on. Now I am simplifying this above term, with applying the differentiation of the log of x in terms. So differentiation of log of x is equals to the 1 by x is there, 1 by x is there. See here, if you are differentiating log of x, you will get 1 by x, and again differentiation of x in terms of x with respect to the x, so you will get here 1. So therefore the term is becomes 1 by x. So if you differentiated in this form, this whatever this equation is there, so this equation if you differentiate it in the log of x form, so what you will get, that is d by dx log of e to the x divided by 2 plus e to the power of 3x divided by 2 plus so on. So this if you differentiated, then you will get, that is 1 by 2, 1 of 1 divided by e to the power of x by 2 into e to the power of x divided by 2 into e to the power of x divided by 2 plus similarly 3 by 2 plus 3 by 2 e to the power of 3x divided by 2 whole divided by e to the power of x by 2, e to the power of, sorry, 3x by 2 will get. So this is the differentiation of the x, log of x, using this differentiation here. So using that differentiation we will write that expression, this average energy expression. So that is nothing but e is equals to the h mu is a constant. So differentiation with respect to x of the log of e to the power of x by 2 plus e to the power of 3x divided by 2 plus e to the power of 5x divided by 2. If you differentiated this one, see here, if you differentiated, then what you will get here, we will get, that is 1 by e to the power of x divided by 2 into if, and now we'll differentiate this e to the power of x by 2. So what you will get, you will get 1 by 2 e to the power of x divided by 2 you will get. So similarly this one, so it means you will get the lower term is e to the power of x by 2, so this is there, and upper term numerator, that is 1 by 2 e to the power of x by 2 is there. Similarly you will get in the next remaining terms. So therefore here we'll write so on. And now the energy, average energy is equals to the h mu into d by dx log of d by dx log of. See here, we'll take outside of e to the power of x by 2. Then if you took outside, then what will you get? 1 plus e to the power of x will get e to the power of x will get plus e to the power of 2x will get for the next term, and similarly next all terms will get. So this we can write this 1 plus e to the power of x plus e to the power of 2x plus, so all these things we can write 1 by 1 minus of e to the power of x. It means we will write this 1 minus e to the power of x raised to minus 1. It means if it is goes numerator, it means it is gives the minus of 1. So this is gives if you expand this 1 minus of e to the power of x raised to minus 1, then we will get 1 plus e to the power of x plus e to the power of 2x plus so on. So it means in the place of this term we will put this value. So now here the average energy is equals to the h mu d divided by dx divided by dx log of e to the power of x divided by 2. It is a common thing we have removed, and then 1 minus e to the power of x raised to 1 minus 1 will write. So this is in the form of log of x into y. So therefore log of x plus log of y we will write. So therefore the average energy is equals to h mu d divided by dx log of e to the power of x divided by 2 minus, so here minus is there, so that minus of log of 1 minus e to the power of x, so we can write this value h mu d by dx. So log of e to the power of x by 2 is gives the x divided by 2 minus of log of 1 minus e to the power of x. So here the average energy is equals to h mu differentiated. If you differentiated, then you will get x by 2 will get 1 by 2 minus of, if you differentiated log of this one, you will get 1 by 1 minus of e to the power of x into differentiation of this minus of e to the power of x. So differentiation of minus of e to the power of x you will get, that is minus of e to the power of x. Same differentiation you will get. So therefore you will get this minus becomes plus here. Plus now the average energy is equals to h mu 1 divided by 2 plus 1 by, so I will take e to the power of minus x outside, e to the power of minus x outside. Why? Because beginning only I have used x is equals to the minus of h mu divided by kt. So to remove this minus, that's why I am going to rearranging the terms here, so therefore here I will divide for the numerator and denominator with the e to the power of x, here e to the power of x, and divided by, for this one, if you otherwise what we'll do, we'll take the e to the power of x outside from this term. So e to the power of x if you taken, then what you will get, you will get 1 by e to the power of x minus of 1. So this becomes cancel. Here the terms is becomes h mu is equals to the 1 by 2, sorry, h mu into 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by this term you can write e to the power of minus x minus of 1, minus of 1. Now we will write this equation is h mu divided by 2, h mu divided by 2 plus h mu into bracket 1 divided by e to the power of h mu divided by kt. We know that x is equals to the minus of h mu divided by kt. So here in equation minus x is there, so therefore this is going to be removed. So therefore e to the power of h mu divided by kt minus of 1. So this becomes 0 point energy, 0 point energy, and the average energy, the total average energy becomes, this is the average energy. So now for each oscillator, for one oscillator the average energy is equals to the, and then the total energy divided by 3n. So why 3n? So 3 in degrees of the freedom. So therefore the total energy is equals to the total energy is equals to the average energy into 3n, average energy into 3n. Now I am using here a total crystal. In this total crystal n number of the atoms are there. It means based on the n number of the oscillators, how much energy will be one oscillator having a 3 degrees of freedom. Instead of n oscillators having a 3 n degrees of the freedom, so therefore the total energy is equals to the, see here I am using this now, total energy is equals to the 3n, 3n average energy is there, that is h mu divided by 2 plus h mu into bracket 1 divided by e to the power of h mu divided by kt minus of 1, minus of 1. So here we can write total energy is equals to the, total energy is equals to 3n, 3n h mu divided by 2 plus 3n h mu into bracket 1 divided by e to the power of h mu divided by kt minus of 1, minus of 1. Now we will find the Cv. Now we will find the Cv, that is dou E divided by dou T. Cv is equals to dou E divided by dou T. So therefore this becomes for constant value. So at 0 point energy there is no differential values of temperature in the first term, so therefore this becomes 0. Differentiation of this 3n h mu divided by 2 is 0, and 3n h mu is a constant, 3n h mu is a constant, and remaining term is going to be differentiated here. So I will differentiate this one. First we'll use the, in terms of e to the power of minus, sorry, x minus of 1, we'll write this one e to the power of x minus 1 raised to the minus 1, and then if you differentiated this one, so what you will get, we will get the term that is minus of, see here, minus of 1 into bracket e to the power of x minus of 1 raised to the minus of 2. This is differentiation we'll get. So if you written in the form of here e to the power of h mu divided by kt minus of 1, minus of 1, so we will get that is minus 1 divided by minus 1 divided by e to the power of h mu divided by kt minus of 1 raised to the minus of 2, differentiation. So again we'll differentiate this term. If we differentiated this term, then we will get that is h mu divided by e to the power of h mu divided by kt, and then the term is t is present in the exponential form. So again what we'll do, we'll do the differentiation. So if we differentiated, then the constant terms are h mu divided by k is there, and then the differentiation of 1 by t you will get, that is 1 by t square, minus of 1 by t square. So we can write Cv is equals to the 3n h mu, 3n h mu e to the power of h mu by kt into h mu divided by kt square whole divided by e to the power of h mu by kt minus of 1 to the power of 2. So now next term is becomes Cv is equals to the 3n k 3nk. So here only one of the k in numerator. If you multiplied here to the inside of the dead bracket, then the k get cancelled. So this becomes now we'll write h mu divided by kt, h mu divided by kt whole square I will write. Why? Because 1 h mu the square becomes here square and t square is there. So if I multiply the k, then you will get the k square here, and e to the power of h mu divided by kt. So whole divided by e to the power of h mu divided by kt. So minus of 1 by minus of 1 raised to the 2. Now what I will write? Now I will write. So that is h mu by kt is theta. H mu by kt is theta. Sorry, here h mu by k is nothing but theta. So therefore the equation becomes, this equation becomes Cv equals to 3nk. So we'll write theta E. So that is Einstein temperature. So therefore theta E divided by T whole square and e to the power of theta E divided by T whole divided by e to the power of theta E divided by T minus of 1 whole square. So theta E divided by T is nothing but Einstein's temperature. So this is expression we got. This expression is gives the specific heat capacity with the help of that 5 assumptions. So now we will apply all these, whatever the that value you got, the specific heat capacity, that is a 3nk theta E divided by T whole square e to the power of theta E divided by T and divided by e to the power of theta E divided by T minus of 1 whole square. So for the high temperature and for the low temperature, to comparing with the experimental curve. So at we'll apply for the at high temperature. At high temperature, so what the expression will get and what the curve will get, see.